Good evening. This is Robert Ricks, lead forecaster with the National Weather Service office in Slidell, Louisiana, with your Thursday evening briefing. We're going to look at a little bit of the tropics and what it might actually be a out-of-season cold front that will actually have an impact on temperatures and the humidity levels moving into next week. But until we get there, we are going to go through a wet weekend. Looks like with higher than normal rain chances, say on the order of 70 to 80% each afternoon and early evening hours through Sunday. Sunday looks to be particularly hot as we get that front closing in. The air ahead of it will be uh, compressing and getting hotter than normal. So we could have heat index ranging in the 100 to 110 range easily before the rain cools things down a bit. And then we'll look at that cold front as it comes in and what it does for temperatures a little bit. And then for the tropics, they are becoming active. We are trending more towards the peak of the season. We're right in the heart of it right now. And right now, we do have a couple of systems we're looking at. So, looking at the 3-day rainfall forecast for our wet period this weekend, tonight through Sunday, that currently the radar is settled down quite a bit. We had an extensive amount of rainfall throughout the day, especially in the Baton Rouge area earlier today. But now that's quieting down on the radar. So tonight should be okay. But starting tomorrow afternoon, late morning and afternoon hours, and going through Sunday, we can see copious amounts of rain throughout the area. The average rainfall amounts will be on the quarter to 1/2 inch range, but we can see some localized 1 to 2 inches or more possible each day in given locations, just depending on how these showers and storms line up on certain boundaries and whatnot across the area. Looking at the tropics, we do have Tropical Storm Josephine right now that's lurking out in the middle Atlantic. It's well east of the Leeward Islands out there. And right now the forecast calls for it to stay out in the open Atlantic. It's going to skirt to the northwest and stay north of the islands for the most part. They may get some fringe effects from it. And then eventually curving out along off the eastern seaboard and hopefully staying out to sea. The outlook is for it to remain a tropical storm for a little while longer and then start feeling some effects of some wind shear and some unfavorable conditions that'll help to weaken it back to a depression stage. So that's the ongoing forecast currently. Today we had some new developments in that there is a uh, unsettled area off the Carolina coast, and that's going to be watched and investigated over the next several days as it moves into the open Atlantic, North Atlantic, and it has a potential of becoming the next named storm, perhaps. We'll just have to see how that unfolds, but it will be moving north and away and away from landmass, so that's a good thing. Looking at the Sunday heat, this is some projections for what the heat index values can be on the maximum end. On the left side, you're seeing the probabilities of exceeding a certain temperature, in this case 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat index values, not the actual temperatures. The actual temperatures will probably be more closer to the mid 90s, 95 range, but you can see there's a 40 to 70% chance, a fairly decent chance that we're going to exceed 105 degrees, which is pretty close to our advisory criteria, almost getting there. Looking on the right side, you can see the max heat index values. Uh, the purple magenta color area there, that's 100 to 110 range. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're going to be faced with as far as the heat goes on Sunday. Now, it shouldn't be an all-day thing because at some point the rain will cut loose and start cooling temperatures down back into a much more manageable range, say in the 80s, once the rain cools the air down. So this will be a short temporary feature until the rain gets going in earnest on Sunday. Looking at the longer range, say the 6 to 10 day outlook, temperatures, we're going to have a little bit of a cool front that comes through. It's going to shave a few degrees off in the morning temps and as well as the afternoon temps. Main thing is the humidity is going to flatten out to where it won't be as oppressive, say Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, perhaps even longer, because we're going to be in a flow pattern where it'll be conducive to having some additional reinforcements coming out of the north into the area along the Mississippi Valley area. In doing so, and looking at this outlook from NOAA, you can see there's a much larger portion of the eastern United States that's looking for below normal temperatures for this time of the year. So that's always a welcome thing in August. Well, the other benefit from this pattern is that typically it means that it keeps the area safe from landfalling tropical systems because the flow pattern would tend to favor shearing anything that does kind of come close to shear it apart and help weaken it. So that's a side benefit this time of the year of having this pattern set up the way it is. Looking at the rainfall outlook, we will have what's considered near normal rain chances each day. The typical rain chance on any given day is about 40% this time of the year in our area. We will have higher than normal rain chances in the short term, say throughout this weekend, but throughout much of next week and even going into next weekend, looks like we'll be trending back towards the more like the 30 to 40% range of rain chances each day. That would be typical afternoon pop-up thunderstorms, mainly along the sea breezes. So, summary of what we did discuss today. We have a wet weekend ahead, which is just ongoing continuation of what we already had today and each day through Sunday. Then heat index values do get rather toasty once again, and say 100 to 105 range, possibly even up to the 110 range on Sunday before we start getting a little bit of a relief and a weak out of season cold front that shaves a few degrees off each day moving forward next week. And then we are continuing to watch the tropics. Right now we do have Tropical Storm Josephine out there, watching another invest area off the Carolina coast. Again, both of them should stay out in the Atlantic and not affect the Gulf of Mexico whatsoever. So that's all we have for this week. We hope you enjoy it and stay safe, and we'll see you next week.